Yo, what is good, my anime people? Put that thing down. No, Dororo, man. I love when shows do this. Just take us away from the main character and actually give us something to be worried about for the main character. Give us something that when we see someone else showing up in the continuity of the show, it's either dangerous for our character or it's actually maybe a good thing. And with this week, they finally kind of give us where everybody kind of stands or is starting to stand, which is starting to seem like a war amongst the father and the son in the sense of he wants attention, but the father only wants to give the attention to finding the kid that supposedly is out there destroying the demons that he's made a pact with. And to be honest, every time I see the dad, he looks more and more like he is possessed by like an actual demon. So I think that scar on his forehead is kind of the symbol of what the demon left on him in the sense of like a takeover. But that's just my guess. I'm not honestly sure if that is the case. Only because once we see this, once we see like everything playing out, it just seems like he has pretty good understanding that it's his kid, that's your own flesh and blood, and you saw what it looked like before and you still got rid of it, and somehow it is taking out beings or like demonic creatures that yourself probably couldn't take out. And here you go finding information that your baby that was born with no flesh is taking them out nonetheless. So that should be some pretty shocking information to just find out. Not to mention, I would just be terrified of what the demons might want to do to me for putting like such a deal up, and then all of a sudden having that same person who you could have just killed, like he could have just killed his own baby, which that's what I pretty much think he expected from the old woman who took the baby away and took him to the water in the first place, was to just drown the baby. And she was like, you know what, no, because the baby straight up like grabbed her finger and was like just trying to, I think it was trying to breastfeed, actually. It was trying to eat. And, she just felt bad overall. And she's like, well, if anything, if just by putting this baby out on the boat, it's pretty much dead anyway. So, not to mention, as soon as that happens, she gets taken out by a demon, seeing how she's the one who has been probably doing this or would do this type of bidding for the king at any given time. So it's one of those things where you can't really feel bad for somebody who would willingly be able to see a lot of babies dying, and then this baby's not dead and you're still willing to take it to its death, so, and then go back to your life because that's where you're most comfortable at, and since you follow the rules you shouldn't be in trouble. That's why it's like I don't really care that she died by a demon. Seems like the appropriate thing to happen after you would do a baby dirty like that. But to see that the brother is kind of catching on to all of this and figuring it all out as he goes, I would just want to see like what his proposition would be if he wanted to maybe, first of all, he's super strong, and he hasn't been out on like in the road, and he's been living on just whatever he can like the other brother, which I think is the only true advantage that the brother with the prosthetics or like the the fake limbs has right now. Well, I guess he's also stronger. So he's stronger and he has more outside experience with just how like environments are and how to use other things to your advantage, not just your blades or your weapons and stuff. Which as soon as we see that he can't like win a battle out in the water against this crab, that's what the younger brother does. He goes out of his way to find a way to pretty much bring the fight to an even ground for his people and an uneven ground, like a disadvantage for the crab in this week's episode. So, not so much something the other brother could do, but that's where that strength comes in, where he wouldn't need to go through all the stuff that they went to just to get out what they got, you know. So somehow, some way, the blessing I think of the headless statue, plus the fact that the whole demon thing. I think those are two like huge aspects or something to his power, or just the notable cause that once you have everything taken away from you, you fight just that much harder. They could go either way with it, and I will be satisfied. But to be fair, I just honestly want to know how this story is all going to play out. I love everything about it right now, and to know that there's so much more to come just in the sense of episodes wise. Guys, I am hyped. There's the little I did not expect the little brother to be that strong. Like I understood he should be strong cuz I mean, look at his father and what he's doing to get power. So, I mean, he's clearly going to have those traits coming straight out from not only his dad, who was willing to do the thing to the first kid, but now after the first kid's already been dealt with and he has a kid after he's already made that treaty, which the demon could even be more a part of it than they were for the first one. And it's not surprising that the younger boy would come out with some abnormal abilities or some abnormal traits that give him an advantage over normal humans, you know. So, not to mention he's trained all his life, and I think that plays a big role because we literally see some of these soldiers going at the monster with blades, and not just like it makes a tink sound, and then he goes up to it and straight up lops the freaking thing's claws off, you know. So that's the difference between maybe just straight up hardcore over and over conditioning, and that's what made him much stronger. But in the grand scheme of things, I think they could play devil's advocate for either or way, because to be fair, it just seemed like he was just broken. You know, like it seemed like the younger son is just someone who's just as strong, if not as strong, as his brother, and we should be aware of him. But at the same time, I just like the fact that he seemingly could be a threat if, like, he almost lost his, one of his good buddies that he's been with his whole life, that kind of when he was alone and no one gave him any time of the day, they were the ones that showed up. And I mean, of course they kind of had to, in a sense. Like, he's the prince of, like, of the upper, and the owner of, like, this whole entire, like, village and stuff, or like this clan. So he's the next one to run it. So I mean, there's some benefits that you get from just having stature and power, but these people treated him like they were just friends and family, you know. So it's nice to see that he had that, but at the same time, it could definitely be the thing that triggers him to go much further and beyond than what we've already seen him doing. So if that would be the case, I would be definitely scared for what the potential battle could look like with him and our main character. Not even Dororo. I always pronounce his name wrong, but the guy with all the messed up limbs straight up takes out the crab, or not. I don't know. It was kind of give and take. Like, you could either say our character took him out, or you could say the younger kid took him out, because he did technically deliver like the final blow. But if he didn't show up and cut him twice on the top of its head and practically just destroy it so bad that even a one more cut would pretty much do it, I think we could give it to him, you know. So very, very hyped that they just show him up like that. He just shows up, steals the show. Um, I think it's a good way that he stole the show too, because now he didn't steal the show in front of too many people, where they're going to now think that he's a bigger hero than the guy that showed up and made this dam and made a whole strategy out of it, and everybody witnessed it. I don't think everybody witnessed. Well, I guess they should have. Yeah, they should have seen him jump in and save the day. So I don't know. I can't wait for next week to see if they are just going to sail off and not really touch up on anything and they're going to go back home, or if there's going to be a chance of them talking. Because with him rocking the crest on him, which the girl, the old woman who left him for dead, gave to him, which I think the demon that showed up to towards the baby, I think he was supposed to take out the baby. I think the baby was going to die by the demon, but that old man, the priest showing up, ruined that. And the old woman gave him that crest because it was just one thing she thought would at least he like, here, this is where you're from, this is who you are, and if you die, it's just gonna be something for a thief who finds it and gets to keep, you know. So she didn't really think anything of it, but now that he has that on him and he's run into his brother who can recognize it, I think that's what's gonna maybe push this narrative forward and him knowing who he is. But with all that being said, my anime people, I hope you have an amazing day, night, evening, whenever you're watching this. I am the Anime G. I was very, very excited for every episode this week. Like, this is the time where anime for me is just non-stop bow, 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 just hit after hit after hit after hit, and I can't be like any happier to be in this time and age, and not only that, to have like amazing people to get to talk to some of these about these animes about. So thank you guys so much for even being here. Any support that you give me is highly appreciated. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one Tuesday. Some Black Clover, and if there's nothing else really with Black Clover, I'll see what else comes out, or I can drop a quick little video that I can make on the fly. So with all that being said, everybody, I'll talk to you tomorrow for sure for that daily content. And with that, everybody, peace.